Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are here to talk about how to get 1 month ahead. This has been a highly requested video. I think because I've mentioned a few times that my husband and I, we use the current month's income to pay our next month's mortgage. Being a month ahead can mean a couple different things. For some people, it means that you are 1 month ahead of your bills, that you've got next month's electricity covered with your current month's income. It can also mean that you're 1 month ahead with your income. So I know a couple YouTubers in the debt-free community who like to essentially have an entire month's worth of income in their savings account, and they just transfer it into their checking account at the start of every month. So they're starting the month with the previous month's income to pay all of that month's bills. And then when they get paychecks in that month, they would just put those paychecks back into the savings account and start the whole process over again. I like that idea. It's kind of like a safety net thing. But for this video, I think we'll probably just talk about how to get 1 month ahead of your bills. And to me, bills includes groceries, gas, all those things that you would need to survive in a month. Like say you were to lose your income for a month, what would you need to get by for that month? So that's kind of how I think of it. I know for us, so let me go ahead and just put down a little flag and we'll take some notes together. So for us, okay, let me just write this out in case anyone wants to reference this later. You can come back to it or take a screenshot. But 1 month ahead, as I mentioned, means either expenses or it means income. And so for my husband and I, our total expenses every month between all of our bills and our variable expenses, like groceries, gas, household products, that sort of thing, it comes out to about $3,200. That is what we need to survive in a month to pay for everything and make sure we're comfortable and all of that kind of stuff. This is also going to factor into our fully funded emergency fund. Once we get to that point, we're currently paying off debt following Dave Ramsey's baby steps. So if we wanted like a 3-month emergency fund, obviously that'd be about $10,000. If we wanted a 6-month emergency fund, then we're talking closer to $20,000. So anyways, just thought I'd mention that. And then income, our total monthly income on average is about $5,200. So the idea of being 1 month ahead essentially means that this sum of money and this sum of money is like sitting in your account, ready to go, almost as a buffer. That's kind of the way that I like to think of it. You can also put it into a savings account and just kind of have it there just in case you need it type of thing. Have it almost as like a baby, savings emergency fund, in addition to your other emergency fund if you wanted to. But for us, that would probably mean it was sitting in our checking account at all times. We currently only keep like $100 buffer in our checking account, and we've just paid our bills strategically because I'm paid on a biweekly basis and so is my husband. But our paychecks, our pay schedules are opposite. So I get paid one Friday, he gets paid the next Friday. I get paid the next Friday, he gets paid the next Friday. So every single week we have a paycheck coming in. And I'll kind of explain more about that in just a little bit. So how do you get that money? That is the big question of the day. So there are 3 ways that you can do this. The first way is the most aggressive way, and that is to hustle and sell everything. Not everything. I mean, But if you have like a piece of furniture that you never use, sell it. You know, we did that. We used to have, like, in our house, we have a breakfast nook, and we had this little table and chairs, and they were beautiful. It was a high top table with like big tall chairs, but we literally never sat over there. We never used that table. And I remember at the beginning of our journey, we sold it. And we got a couple $100 for it. So that was a good deal. So you could have like a garage sale. You could obviously go on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. You could also hustle, like, you know, babysit. Babysitters make a lot of money these days. I will tell you what, way more than I used to make. I remember I used to babysit. I would babysit like 2 little kids in particular all the time. And I would babysit them for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, and I'd get paid like $10. And I thought that was amazing. And now it's like $10 per hour is like not even enough. I feel like people expect more than that. It's kind of insane, to be honest with you. Okay, and then you could also get like a part-time job. Maybe you deliver pizzas for a month. Not even joking. Maybe you do that. But basically the premise is you just hustle and grind until you get that sum of money ready to go. That's probably the quickest way to do it. That is definitely the most aggressive way to do it. But if you're determined, then you can get it done. You know, no doubt about it. You can get it done. So that's the first option. The next option would be kind of like the in-between. So you would pause, hit the pause button on any debt payoff that you're doing, not including minimum payments. You always stay current. So not including minimum payments. So you'd pause that. So like right now, we have all of our extra income at the end of every month going to debt. We're trying to pay off debt as quickly as we can. I had a question earlier about how we have so much money going to debt, and this is why. We have chiseled down our lifestyle, and to be honest with you, like I feel very comfortable with our lifestyle. I feel like we're not sacrificing like a ton. Like we still go out to eat, we still go to movies, all that kind of stuff. We're just not excessive about it, and we we do go over those categories every now and then. The main thing is you know where your money is going. Every single dollar has a purpose, has a name, is being tracked. That is so key. So as you can see, there's like a $2,000 difference here. And that, my friends, is how we have as much going to debt as we do on a monthly basis. So anyways, I just thought, side note, because I've gotten questions about that. It took us a long time to get there, but it's a good feeling once you're there. So, and then this includes like any savings. If you're contributing towards retirement, stuff like that, you could temporarily pause it if you want to. I know our retirement is temporarily paused while we're getting out of debt. That is one of Dave Ramsey's principles and all that kind of stuff. And some people agree with it, some people don't. You know, there's mixed opinions out there in the debt-free community. But if you're like just generally saving, then you would just kind of pause that. Like what we might do is when we're on baby step 3, we might get our 1 month ahead first and then start saving our emergency fund, because I think of 1 month ahead as being like kind of like extra financial security in our checking account. And in addition to that, I would want to have a chunk of money in savings as well. So that's what we might do. We're not like technically pausing baby step 3. We're just kind of keeping part of baby step 3 in our checking account and then the rest in a savings account, if that makes sense. So you're basically pausing those things. And then you're doing basically what my husband and I are doing now. You know, it would take us about 2 months to get to this, the expenses, if we were to just pause our debt snowball right now. We're obviously not going to do that because we're so close to paying off debt, but that's basically the way it would work. And then the one that is probably the most confusing, but it works. If you're paid on like a bi-weekly or weekly basis, and you get those extra paychecks, you know, that feels like a really fun bonus that you're getting. Well, hate to burst your bubble, but you would essentially not use that as like play money, or like some people get those extra paychecks and they put it all to debt. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to mention here too, I'll just put off to the side, is tax returns. So if you're getting a tax return, then you want to try to not get a tax return, by the way. People have mixed opinions about this too. We got a tax return this year because the whole tax bracket thing, everything changed. And so I didn't even want to mess with it. I'm like, I'm just going to leave things the way that they are now and we'll see what happens. I did adjust my W-4 to not have as much in taxes taken out. After we did our tax return, I kind of did some math on it and stuff like that. So we were basically overpaying our taxes by almost $200 per month. So, and you're lending the government money for free. Like when you do that, there's really no benefit to getting a tax return. It feels really exciting because you're getting this like sum of money back and all that, but that should have been your money to begin with. Like you can have more money on a monthly basis, which I would personally rather do than like have too much withheld and then get it back during tax season, you know? Like, and then this year, of course, we had like the government shutdown. So a lot of people didn't even get their returns. They're still waiting on them, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, but if you get a tax return, some people prefer to, and they're, you know, personal finance is personal, you guys. That is like one thing I preach. Like there is no judging. If you like having, you know, a bigger chunk withheld from your paycheck to get a bigger tax return, if that's kind of like, some people use that as like a savings method, then go for it. Seriously, go for it. You have to do what works best for you. For us, I don't want to give the government too much money. I would rather have it. So that's why we adjusted it. But if you're getting a tax return this year and you haven't used it yet, you could put it towards this goal as well. So just side note. But back to the bi-weekly, weekly extra paychecks. So instead of like using that paycheck for vacation or using it to go to debt or something like that, you would roll it into the next month, okay? And if you're paid on a bi-weekly, weekly basis, then you're gonna have 2 of those months in a year. So for me, and this is gonna look so confusing, you guys, but for me, I have 2 months in a year, March and August, that I get 3 paychecks. And that's kind of how it'll go, because there's 52 weeks in a year, there's 26 paychecks in a year. So obviously 2 months of the year is going to have, 2 months of the year will have 3 paychecks, and then 10 months of the year will have 2 paychecks. So anyways, try not to confuse myself. Sometimes that happens. Does that happen to you guys? Like when you're talking, you're just like, wait, what am I saying? Anyways, I feel so scatterbrained today. So it's probably not the best day to film this video, but that's okay. Hopefully you guys are sticking with me. So instead of using like that extra paycheck, you would roll it into the next month. Okay, so, and then same thing with weekly paychecks, because there's 4 months of the year where there's 4 months of the year where you have 5 Fridays if you're paid on Fridays. So you would take that extra weekly paycheck, chuck it into the next month. And throughout the course of the year, guess what? All those extra paychecks are going to equate to probably your expenses plus some, because most of the time your paychecks or your income should be more than your expenses. But if it's not, you got to fix that by doing a lot of this and cutting back and all that kind of stuff. I think I'm going to probably do a video in the near future about like top things to cut from your budget, how to avoid living paycheck to paycheck, that kind of stuff. But that's the third option, and that's obviously going to take the longest because it's over the course of the year that you're having that extra income roll into the next month and you're kind of slowly but surely saving it and setting it aside versus using it for something else to get 1 month ahead. So I hope that this video made sense, or I hope that all of this made sense to you guys. If this was confusing at all, or if you have any questions, definitely leave your questions in the comment section down below for me. I will respond as quickly as I can. But again, I've gotten a lot of requests for just walking through this process. Like, what does 1 month ahead mean? How do I get 1 month ahead? That sort of thing. And that is basically how you do it in a nutshell. So we are planning to get 1 month ahead fully when we pay off our debt, as I mentioned. And yeah, so anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe by hitting that subscribe button to catch all of my future videos. And like I said, if you have any questions, comments, anything like that, leave those down below for me and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I will chat with y'all later. Bye.